everyone. Welcome to the Ashland University Basketball Preview Show. I'm Ken Dworsnik, joined today by head men's basketball coach John Ellenwood. John, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Ken.
Coach, this season is nearly upon us for 2011-2012. How has the offseason gone thus far, and what have you seen from your team at this point?
Well, our guys came back from the summer, and the returners had a great summer, and we were excited about that. It seems like everybody that was returning got better over the summer, and we had a very young team last year. We'll have a young team again this year, but I think a couple of the guys on our team have been through the GLIAC a couple times. They know what to expect, and this preseason has gone extremely well. I think we have better leadership than we have in my tenure here, and I think it's going to show once the season starts October 15th.
Coach, forward Evan Yates emerged as one of your top scorers last season. What do you expect from him this season as well as the rest of the front court?
Evan had you're talking about the guys who had great summers. Evan had a tremendous summer, and I think he's hungry to become one of the best players in this league, and we think he's definitely one of the best post players in this conference, and the last two seasons he's kind of earned that right, and I think last season I think he was either 1 or 2 in the GLIAC and field goal percentage, and at 6'6", he's an undersized center, but he moves so well. And this summer he basically worked on his game, worked in the weight room. We think that as quick as he is for his size and his strength, I think he's going to be a force to deal with in this conference. So we're excited about him, and I think he's going to have a tremendous year for us.
Coach, in your backcourt, David Harris and Ronnie Stewart come back. Both are returning players from last year that played substantial minutes. Another gentleman who comes back from injury is DeJuan Thomas. How do you see the point guard position shaping up this year?
Well, last year was a weird year for us at point guard. We had Ronnie Stewart, who was a transfer from Akron, who early on was an essential piece of our team, and he was hit or miss pretty much for the first 8 games of the season, and then had a season-ending shoulder injury. He's back. He's 100%, and I think he's better than he ever has been. So we're excited about that. He's worked on his shot while he was injured, and has created a better shooting technique. And he's always great with the ball. And DeJuan was also a backup point guard, and also he started for us as a freshman until he got injured in the Wayne State game at Wayne State last year. And DeJuan was our best on-the-ball defender last year. And when both those guys went out, we had to rely on a walk-on point guard, David Harris, who was untested at college, and David owned the position. I mean, just did an outstanding job. I think he got Conference Player of the Week on our side one week last year, and he went from not playing at all in college to playing about 38 minutes a game, and he shined on that. And he wore down a little bit by the end of the season, but I think he was so valuable to our team that we couldn't take him off the floor because of the lack of depth at that position. But David had an unbelievable summer, has become a better shooter. Such a smart player, and he's a gritty defender. But just getting DeJuan Thomas back on defense and Ronnie Stewart, we become a heck of a lot better defensively, guarding other people's backcourt players. So we're excited about getting those guys back and healthy, and I think we're going to have be pretty deep at the point guard position.
Coach, specifically talking about the wing position, you have Jordan Berlin coming back as well as Antoine Childs.
Yeah.
Both are returning. What are you looking for from those players as well as anyone else that plays the wing position for you? Well,
the wings, have to be able to handle the ball, and they have to be able to obviously be threats from the outside and still attack the basket. It's just we expect them to be fundamentally sound. All of our guards, we want them to be interchangeable as best that they can in our offensive system. But Jordan is always been probably our most consistent player, and as a freshman last year, he started the majority of the games, and as the season went on, he got better. And a lot of times freshmen hit a wall. Jordan didn't hit a wall. He got better as the year went on and had some really big games for us. Defensively, was able to guard some of the, with the injuries of DeJuan Thomas and Ronnie Stewart. We had to put him on some of the other league's best offensive players, and he did a pretty good job defensively at times. So, he's always been Mr. Consistent. He does everything really well, and I think he's just going to get better. He had a great summer in the weight room, is a lot stronger, and has a lot more confidence in his game, and we expect big things out of him. Antoine Childs, we're actually moving to the power forward position. We think he's better 15 feet and in, and he's a better rebounder, better scorer, makes better decisions from inside there. So his athleticism, being 6'6" and explosive, is nice to have him at that position, especially with the loss of Cale Richardson, Blake Saunders. So, we're going to be young at that position, but I think we'll be very talented and very athletic at that power forward position. But we have some good young players coming in as well that are going to help us out at the wing position. And having three guards like Ronnie Stewart and DeJuan Thomas, those guys are capable of playing some wing spots as well.
Coach, looking at some of your recruits that come in, from everything I've heard, a very good recruiting class this season. How do you see a lot of these athletes fitting in with your team right now?
Well, we feel very confident in the guys that we brought in. The one thing that we do recruiting-wise is we look for guys with a work ethic. And, obviously they have to be skilled and talented, but we want guys that are going to be in the gym, and they want to be in the gym. And we don't, the last thing that we want to coach is effort. And we feel like we have a bunch of guys we're bringing in that's the last thing that we have to worry about with them. I think Paul Honiford is going to be an extremely good player in this conference, 6'8" and extremely skilled, and he's tough. We think he's going to be an impact player in this conference, and we're excited to have him. He can play a power forward or a center for us, and he can shoot it outside. He's developing his low post game extremely well. He's one of those players you tell something one time, and by the end of the day, he'll have it mastered. So we think every day he's getting better, and he's just going to blossom as the year goes on. Cole Krasandzik's a freshman from Menor. Great shooter, great offensive player. Has gotten stronger since last year. Was a tremendous scorer in high school and played on some great teams. Coach's son. We feel like he can extend some defenses with his long range ability, and he's a great passer as well as being a great shooter. So we're excited about him. We have some other freshmen we actually have a freshman out of Illinois named TJ Riggs, who's about a 6'3", very strong, very athletic, slasher, can knock down the shot if left open. We feel, and he's a great on-the-ball defender, so just a workhorse kid. We feel he's going to be pretty good as well. We have two transfer freshmen. One is a 6'10", 6'11" big man who, when he got here, he was about 290 pounds. Right now he's about 265 pounds. So a guy named Ben Mixer. Ben last year had some knee issues at the school he was at, so he sat out, and knee issues are fine now, and we think that, somewhere down the road he's going to be a physical monster for us, because he's got the size, he can run, he's got great touch for his size. So we think he's just going to develop, and we're excited about him. Another guy that we have is named Jorian Hudson, and Jorian was at University of Cincinnati last year, and played football. But out of high school, he played at Roger Bacon, was the Greater Catholic League, which is a tremendous league down in Cincinnati, was the player of the year in that conference. And and he had multiple Division I offers out of high school, but he's getting the football out of him right now. But just a great athlete, 6'3", can shoot, can drive, a tremendous defender and rebounder. So he kind of brings that athleticism at the wing that we're looking for. But we're excited about all those guys, and we think all of them can bring something to our team, with their work ethic, and they're great teammates.
Sure. Coach, one final question as we wrap up here. Third season now with Ashland University. What are your goals going into this season? Well,
our goals, we want to get better every day. We want to be competitive in this conference. And, it's a top to bottom. Every game is so tough in this conference. I don't know if there's another league in the country, top to bottom, that's as good as the GLIAC. On any given night, you can get beat by anybody, and you can beat anybody. And you got to win on the road. Our goals this year are to become a better road team. Our goals this year are to be more focused, in all of our games, and I think with our leadership we'll be able to do that. But we're going to take it one day at a time, and hopefully we'll be better at the end of the season than we are right now. And I think with our leadership, I think we have a good possibility of doing that.
Coach, thanks so much for
Thanks,
taking
Ken.
the time. Best of luck on the season.
Appreciate it.
For Coach John Ellenwood, I'm Ken Dworsnik. Thanks for watching the Ashland University Men's Basketball Preview. Have a wonderful afternoon.